Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today we're going to be looking at something creative, a bit more creative for our creativity in ARCICAD. So we're going to be looking at how I'm going to put a burglar proof for my door. So as you can see, I have burglar proof for my windows. You can see here they are, and I want to make one for my door with the same kind of design. So I'm just going to show you, because if you know how to make the one for the door, I'll assume most probably or most certainly you know how to do the one for the windows too. So first of all, I'm going to go to the elevation, the front elevation, so that they can able to see my door here, and I'm going to highlight it using my line tool. So I'm going to check the line tool, and then I'm going to highlight it where I want my burglar proof to be positioned. So I'm going to put it like this. So let me make sure it's this line, and then I'm going to go up to there. Actually, let me just do it well. So I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to go up to somewhere here. Let me make sure, yeah, it's the second one. And then we go upwards up to where our door is covered. So not where the jumps are, but where the door is covered. You can see I put it in blue to be able to see it. So I'm going to select the line, I'm going to copy it, then we can paste it in our ground floor. So I'm going back to ground floor, and I'm going to paste our line. So let me paste it here. So it's going to paste itself somewhere here. I'm gonna press OK. So with that done, now you can see we have a reference here, so that you can work with it to make a burglar proof. So first of all, I'm going to have to offset this one to create a thickness for my burglar proof. I'm going to I'm going to copy it first, then I'm going to paste it on the same location, and then I'm going to offset one of them. So I'm going to suspend the groups, select one of the nodes, and then I'm going to offset it by, let's say, 50. And then you're going to have something like this. So I want to make a simple one, maybe a one that contains some grids and some rectangles, some triangles, I mean, like the one for our windows. So I'm just going to have it like this. Then I'm going to drag it out, multiple copies of it, and create a design. So first let me drag it back up here, and then I'm going to Control U it. So first let's measure how long this thing is to see how we can distribute this line. So it's about 200, 2300, so we can distribute like 10 copies or more. Control U. I'm just going to Control U, and then I'm going to spread it, I mean, by the spacing of, let's say, to create 10 copies we need like 20. So let me just create spacing of, let me create a spacing of 300, or let's say 200. So we press OK, and then I'm going to drag a copy of this up to downwards there. So I'm going to have something like this. Then I want to add a bit more design into it by adding maybe some triangles on this. I'm going to alternate the triangles, and so I'm going to create a design that contains alternating hexagons and grid. So first of all, let me just draw out the design that I want. I'm going to draw something like this, and then something like this, and then upwards there. So I want it to have this in terms of alternating form. Let me just show you. Let me first drag several copies of this, Control Shift D, and let them be somewhere like this. So with that created like this, I'm going to have, let me make it a bit more, okay, something like this. So let me create it well. So with that created, I want to have this one to be jumping one line and going to the up to until we reach the floor. So I'm going to click all of them. I'm going to shift and then just going to drag some copies to the next. I'm going to jump one and go to the next. Do the same up to where it's going to reach. So I'm going to go to Shift D, jump one, go to the next. Somewhere here, maybe center here, maybe. Then jump one and go to the next like this. So now we have a design so that you can work with. First of all, yeah, so we have a design like this, so we can work with this for our burglar proof. So, and then I'm going to have to draw a line that is going to pass here centrally up to the down there, and then we can now spread the line outwards. So I'm just going to select the line, Control Shift D here, Control Shift D here. So now we have our burglar proof, something like this. Yeah, and then we can now add some thickness onto it. So let's just make sure it's a bit thicker. So Control Shift D. Let me first select all of these lines here and drag some copies for them so that I can create a thickness for these lines. So let me now Control Shift D, and then I'm just going to drag it by, let's say, 20, or let me drag it upwards. That's going to make more sense. By 20, you can see now it's going to have a thickness like that. Now and then you're going to do the same for these ones that are running across. Shift, then like this, and then Control Shift D, and then I'm going to just drag it by 20, and then you have something like this. So a burglar proof is something like this, something that cannot be penetrated. Then we have, now we're going to add thickness for our designs here. So I'm just going to shift and select all of it, all three of them, and then I'm going to control copy them and then paste on the same position, and then I'm going to press OK. And then I'm going to just offset each and every one of them. So drag a copy, I'm going to offset somewhere there, maybe let's say 20 again, and then do the same for this one. Make sure, then you just suspend the groups again, make sure it's 20, then do the same for this one, group again, and then suspend the groups, and then now you can offset by 20. Yeah, now you can see something like this is appearing, and the next thing we can do is we're just going to drag these ones that are inside and distribute them outside. So in the rest, so Control Shift D and drag them downwards here. So somewhere there, make sure it's okay, right position. Yeah, some good position somewhere there, and then do the same for the rest. Control Shift D. Let's make sure it's on a good position, not a. Yes, draw it. You know, this thing is not accurately drawn, but it's just for an example of how you can manipulate your project and become more creative in it. So I'm going to fix that. So let me drag it to the last one. D to the last one. Yeah, and then let's make it a bit more central, maybe here. Yeah, and then the last one, Shift D. Yeah, somewhere here. So now we have our design of our burglar proof. Let me fix this one that we're not aligning. I'm just going to drag it a bit to the side because that's the problem. Yeah. Now you have our design for our burglar proof, and then I'm going to now have to remove these joints because a metal does not crisscross this, like they don't cross each other in the joint. So I'm just going to remove it and make it a clean joint like this. So yeah, so do it like that. Make sure something like this. Do the same for this one. So I'm going to remove it and remove that ones. Move the central ones. Yeah. And we make sure it's okay. Yeah, so it's just a matter of you playing around with ARCICAD to know how you can do this, because this is you won't be taught anywhere and else and apart from your own creative mind. So it's going to finish it off and we can now create our burglar proof. So yeah, not that it's not actually accurate, but it's a good example. So let's continue first. You can continue doing this until you finish your joints. So yeah, so that's what I want to have, clean joints.